Happy Friday, or maybe Saturday or Sunday or whatever day it is when you're watching. Right now, it's Friday. It is super beautiful where I live today. I'm very excited. We haven't seen the sun in a long time. So we've got a lot of sun. It's gorgeous. I hope where you live, you're also experiencing beautiful weather or a great start to the weekend. I'm jumping in here to YouTube Live. Oh, let me get set up. I want to make sure. I apologize. I want to make sure that if you're joining me today, I can see you in the chat. So let me just click a few buttons here to get that all set up. But I'm jumping on to YouTube Live today for two reasons. I want to ask you a question, and I want to answer a question that I received in an email. I guess it was at the end of last week. It was last Thursday that I got this email. So, my question for you, if you're here, my guess is you regularly watch my Confident English lessons here on YouTube. Maybe you even get the emails that I send out every Wednesday. I hope that you do. Or you're finding this because English confidence, English fluency are important to you. These are things that you're looking for. And if you watch my lessons regularly, or if you watch lessons from other English fluency, English confidence coaches, then again, my guess is your goal is to speak English more fluently, speak it with more accuracy, speak it with more confidence. These are great goals. So, my question for you is why? Why? Why is that so important to you? What exactly would be different or better in your life if you were speaking English confidently, fluently, or more accurately? I'm always curious about that question. I think it's a really important question to answer because if you don't know what would change, if you don't know what would be better, then it's hard to have the motivation and the drive, the energy that you need to actually make those changes. So I'm going to pause for a second just to see if any of you want to share with me in the chat. I also see a few people joining here. I see someone in India watching. Hello, thanks for joining and watching today. So as I said, I'm really curious. Why is English confidence or fluency so important to you? That the answer to that question is what makes it easier for you to take the next steps to actually begin to achieve that. And this is where I want to answer a question that I got last week via email. And again, I think it was last Thursday. So I have a student who said recently that before she started to learn with me in the Confident Women community, she was shy and quiet in English. But now she speaks English without fear. Now she speaks English without embarrassment. Now she can just enjoy conversations, which is awesome. It's what almost every student I have wants. This is what they want, to speak without fear, without anxiety, without worry about mistakes. They just want to enjoy conversations. They want to express themselves. And the reality for this student is, yes, she's speaking without fear. She's speaking without embarrassment, but she can also do things that she couldn't do before. I'll give you a few examples of what she has shared with me. Number one, she is able to speak to a neighbor, and she couldn't speak to that neighbor a year ago. So a year ago, she would see her neighbor and only say hi. And then that was it. That was the end of the conversation, just hi, finished. But now they have long conversations. They've gotten to know each other. She can ask small talk questions and find out what's happening in her neighbor's life. Also, this year, she attended an English speaking conference for her work. And in the past, she avoided those conferences. She didn't want to go because she had too much anxiety about speaking English. So she's building her professional network. She's growing herself professionally by attending conferences where she can go, she can listen to presenters, understand them, she can speak with other colleagues. And again, she feels confident. She knows that she can do that. And recently, she's taken a really big step. Not only is she joining live conversation classes inside our Confident Women community. She's actually hosting conversations. She is leading conversations. She is planning a 1 hour discussion. She's inviting others. She's leading them through the discussion. She is doing that all on her own. And those are huge shifts for her. She's learning how to not only participate in a conversation, but how to lead others in a conversation because she's developed that confidence. And this particular student doesn't live in an English speaking country. She doesn't speak English every day in her daily life. She only needs it sometimes for her work. And yet she's made all this progress. This woman also has a full-time career, full-time job. She has teenage kids. So life for her is busy, and yet she has still made this progress. So the email that I got last Thursday, someone had seen that story and said, "How did she do that? How is that possible? How can someone who doesn't live in an English speaking country, how can someone with kids and a full time job, someone who was highly shy, highly nervous in English, suddenly speak without fear, without embarrassment, and do all these incredible things?" And I'll tell you exactly what the answer is. The answer is she made a choice. She decided, I'm finished. I'm finished feeling afraid. I'm finished feeling nervous. She had an opportunity to join a speaking community, and she said yes to that opportunity. Excuse me. She made a choice to join that community. And then when she joined that community, she made a choice to study with our monthly study guides. She made a choice to practice speaking for the first time. She made a choice to join classes. And those first steps are, of course, kind of scary. Even for native speakers, the first time we speak to people, for example, for myself as an introvert, sometimes speaking with strangers is kind of scary, but doing it in your second language is definitely a little bit scary. But she discovered very quickly that, oh, when I speak, other people understand me. She didn't know if other people would understand her. She was worried about her accent. Would other people understand me? Will I make a lot of mistakes? But she made the choice. She made the decision to do it anyway. And that is always the answer to this question of how it's possible. We either make a choice to do something and then we choose to do it again and we do it again and we choose to do it again, or we make a choice to stay the same, to just keep doing things the way we always do them, and then nothing really changes. So I want you to think about that for a moment and think about the opportunities you have in your life, the little and big moments where you have choices to make, choices where you could learn from a video, and choices where you could then practice speaking about it out loud with a speaking journal or in a speaking community, choices of speaking programs that you could join, like the Confident Women community. Every day we have little opportunities to make choices. And sometimes the choices are easy. Sometimes we have a lot of energy and we're excited and we feel motivated and we're ready to do something. And so it's easy to make the choice to say yes. And then some days it's a little bit harder. We might be tired or just feeling uncertain. And it can be more difficult in those days to maybe say yes to practicing. That's okay. It's normal life, but you still get the choice to say yes or say no and do nothing. The great thing about being in a community is having support and having people who understand the difficult days, having people who can support you and help you and encourage you on the days when it's difficult. And so for students who work with me and students who join my programs or women who join my Confident Women community, what they get is the learning materials that they need, the practice that they need, the opportunities to say yes consistently. And they also get the support they need to make it easier on the days that feel difficult. So, whether it's because you're nervous or you're tired or life is stressful or you feel busy or whatever it may be, but having someone else to support you along the way really makes the difference. But the most important thing to remember is that the way to confidence, the way to fluency, the way to improved accuracy is simply making the choice to say yes to the opportunities that you have. And over the last few weeks, if you've been watching me, you know I've done several lives recently. I've had a lot of fun doing these YouTube lives. One of the reasons I did that, I shared with my email list recently. One of the reasons I've been doing YouTube lives is, well, number one, I left social media, not YouTube, but I left social media. I left like Instagram and Facebook, all of that stuff. I left it. And, I'm doing YouTube lives because I love being here and I have the time now to be here since I'm not trying to do all the things. I made a choice to turn off one thing so that I can do another. And then I'm also enjoying these lives because I think right now it's really hard to trust what you see online. I don't know about you, but so much of what I see online right now, it's hard to know if it's real people or if it's just artificial intelligence. And I love being with real people. I love being in conversations. It's why every single program that I offer focused on fluency and confidence includes live speaking practice because I love being in real conversations with real people. It's also the only way to really become confident and fluent in speaking. We have to be speaking with real people to do those things. And so I think one of the reasons I'm loving YouTube Live is it's just me here. All of my mistakes, everything, I don't know. It's just me being here with you. So I've really enjoyed it. And if you've watched my past YouTube lives, you know that we've been talking about the challenges of becoming more fluent and the pain of feeling stuck, of feeling frustrated, the pain of freezing and losing your words in the moment, and how frustrating that is. We've talked about why it happens. We've talked about what can change and how to change those things. But today, I want you to really think about the choices that you've been making and the choice that you have today, the choice that you have tomorrow. It's never one choice that helps us cross the line. So if we think about where we cross the line to feeling more confident, more fluent, more accurate in a language, there's never one choice that helps us get there. It is a series of choices. It is decisions that we make over time, the action steps that we take over time, and it's the decision to not give up. And there will be days and weeks and months where not giving up feels kind of easy because you're making progress. You're feeling the progress that you're making. You're feeling motivated and excited. And so it's easier during those periods of time to keep saying yes. Every learning journey, no matter what it is, also has periods that are more challenging, where life is stressful. Things are happening at work or in your family that are creating stress, or you're not sleeping well and you're tired. Things at work aren't going the way that you expected. There are many, many moments in life where things get more challenging. So maybe we do less, and that's okay. Sometimes we choose to do less, but the key is choosing to not give up. And again, it comes down to making the decision, the choice. So I would love to, I am going to just check in the chat before I hop off today. And I'm just seeing if anybody here wanted to share a little bit about what would be different for you. That was my key question for you at the beginning. What would be different for you? What would change in your life? What would be better if you could speak with more confidence, more fluency in English? So if you want to share that with me, I definitely want to check it out. I see we've got someone who always watches my classes and recommends them to her Brazilian friends. Awesome. Thank you so much. And you've moved to the US 7 years ago. That's a big change. I hope that you've enjoyed that move. So definitely some people, a couple people watching from Brazil, from Poland. Hello. Uh, Thank you for the comment that I nailed it. I'm, I'm glad that you agree. I love that expression. Great job using that. And a few other people watching from Europe as well. So thank you all for being here. I love having you here. And what I want you to think about today as you end today, what are the opportunities you have in your life today, tomorrow, on Monday next week, next Thursday? What choices do you have in 3 weeks to say yes to doing something that actually contributes to your English confidence and fluency? And whatever it is that you say yes to, it should definitely include speaking with real people. That's ultimately the key. So thanks so much for joining me. As I said, I hope that you have a wonderful weekend. I am doing this on Friday. It's Friday morning where I live. I hope you have a great weekend, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.